Okay, this is going to be geared toward Griffin and Grady. Now, Griffin and Grady, too, their biggest problem, the main issue was them pottying in the house. So we have discussed with the owners that both of these dogs will need to be crate trained. It's the best and easiest way to do it, especially if the family members are working and they can't be with them all day long. A couple things. You'll notice these crates are not giant crates. They're medium-sized crates. I think this one says the size of it on here. This one is 32 by 22 by 23. Okay, 32 long, 22 wide, 23 high. You do not want a big crate for them when you're doing this, because that way they can pee and poop in the crate and then they can just back off and get away from it. You don't want them doing that. You want them to not want to pee and poop in the crate. Another thing is, when you're doing this, you do not want a bunch of pillows and blankets in the crate, because the pillows and the blankets soak up the pee and it doesn't bother the dogs that much then. So, when you're crate training dogs, the biggest thing is I want the crate big enough to where they can get up, they can curl up in the back, they can stretch out a little bit, they can stand up, they can turn around and be comfortable in there, but not big enough to where they can just go to the bathroom whenever they want to in there and get away from it. And as you can see, these two guys are doing great. They're not barking, they're not whining, they're not pawing at the door trying to get out or anything. So that's really good. That's what I want. The other thing is, when the owners were to come home, the dogs go outside immediately. Let them outside for a while. Let them empty out that bladder, and so they don't have anything in them, so they don't feel the need to come in the house and go to the bathroom. Now, these guys are both a little bit older, so it's harder than with a little puppy. But if you're going to have them out in the house, just unattended, somebody needs to watch them. Okay, you got to watch them. Let them out very frequently. I tell people no food or water past about 6 o'clock. That way they can get all the food and water they need, and then later that night or throughout the evening they can go out, empty their bladders and their tummies and everything else, so that way they don't feel the need to eliminate during nighttime when they're sleeping. It is a necessary evil when you're doing this, but it's the best way to do it. It keeps the dogs out of trouble, and it'll save your house. You know, a lot of people don't like crate training. They don't like putting their dog in a crate. It's not my favorite thing either, but it's better than them ruining your house and having your house smell like pee, okay? Especially male dogs. Male dogs lift their legs. I don't want male dogs lifting their legs on the couches and all that good stuff. Another thing about the bedding in them, you know, they're like, oh my gosh, they need a pillow, they need something to lay on. Look at this guy here. He sleeps on the concrete. Now, when these two aren't in the crates, and sometimes I'll just put them in the bigger one, and I just put them in here periodically throughout the day just for a while, just to get them used to it, and then I'll put them in this big one. Both of them are sleeping on the concrete and not on the cot. Okay, so they don't need a bed or a pillow. All four of my dogs, I let them outside. They're laying out on the front porch or out on the driveway. That's just the way dogs are. They're not built like people. They don't need a posturepedic bed. Look at Grady here. He's completely relaxed, passed out. So they're doing great, and I just wanted to make this video so the owners themselves have something to reference back on when they come pick these two dogs up. And I'm going to go over it again with them, but this way they can kind of see for themselves the way the dogs are in the crates. They're not barking. That was another big thing, that the dogs would bark when they were gone. Can't have that. They do feel pretty secure in these crates, and they don't seem to mind them in one bit. So I think we're on the right track with these two. So we'll talk to you later. I obviously need to do a little bit of cleaning. It's a busy day today. So we'll see you later. Toodles.